Once again, I just want to please ask you to like and share and subscribe to the channel if you like the videos. I am having a hard time to get traction, and I need a lot more subscribers before I will get anything out of these videos. Thank you very much. And if you don't like my voice and the things I tell me that in the comments. 27 June 2022. This is my second Skidmark for today, and I had to do it because it's important. If you look at the fiasco in my mind at the G7 meeting, you just have to shake your head. But what is important, and we must take note of it, there's a new kid on the block, and that kid is called BRICS. Now, if you look at the BRICS participants at this point, there's only it is Brazil and India and Russia and China and South Africa. But China is already working on a thing that they call BRICS Plus, where there's new countries that want to come in. But what is important to note is, if you look at the video clip that is on social media about the Zoom conference of the BRICS members, you have to smile, because those guys there, each and every one of them is smiling, and they're happy, and they are giving you a cheer with a cup. There is a lot of confidence there, and I like it. And if you look at the group photograph of those leaders, those men are physically in shape, and they look as if they are up for the task ahead. They can be confident. The Ukraine war must be seen as the Waterloo of the Western Empire. The West should never have gotten involved there. But unfortunately, and we know it, the Americans had a hell of a lot of skeletons in the closet of the Ukraine, and they had to try their utmost to keep it hidden. But on the 24th of February 2022, Putin said enough, and that day is changing the world. A lot of things has happened. The Green Deal has been bombed out of existence. The World Economic Front's dream of a new world order was shattered, and Europe is falling apart. The EU is falling apart. The sanctions backfired, and that backfire is now revealing all the cracks and fault lines in that alliance. I don't even want to talk about NATO. NATO has effectively disarmed themselves, and in another Skidmark I spoke about the ammunition problem, and it is critical. NATO cannot go up against Russia. They will get pulverized. In the meantime, the BRICS group, especially China and Russia, has spent a lot of energy and a lot of time in setting up an alternative global trading system. The West has had their way for a very long time, and they applied sanctions left, right and center as they wanted to, and they enforced their will on the rest of the world with their military power. In the Ukraine, Putin has showed the world that the Western military power is no longer the big boy on the block. And you may have different opinions, but if you talk to a well-informed military strategist and analyst, they will tell you the West cannot match Russia. Russia has showed the depth of their abilities, and the West needs to reconsider their position. Obviously, for me, the logical option is to go and visit Putin in Moscow and say, sorry, we screwed up, how can we fix it? But you and I know they won't do it. Arrogance prevents them from doing that. So reality is going to do it for them. They have got all sorts of stories there at the G7 mission, but the reality is West is running out of fuel and BRICS is swimming in the fuel, and that is the difference. Now, if we look at the BRICS as it is now, it is 5 countries, but there is already signs of others that want to join. I will do another Skidmark on the deep realities of BRICS. At this point in time, I just want to say that BRICS represents about 3.4 billion people and the G7 just over 700 million. The days of the West enforcing their will around the globe is over. 2 of the BRICS members, China and Russia together, there is no way in the world that the NATO alliance will stand if they go head to head. But let's not talk about that. I'm going to read some tweets. If you look at the first image that I'm going to show you, you will see a smiling Putin sitting with a commemorative mug in his hand. BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. As Putin toasts the other members with a souvenir mug, look at the smiles. They are remaking the world and they know it. And that is the truth. Whether the West want to accept it or not, or whether they can digest the idea, that is their problem. And then somebody responds on Twitter on that post, and the person says, and we have to cope with these clowns. And there's an image of the G7. Then there is this interesting tweet. A facial expression says 1,000 words. BRICS are going to take over the world economy. The West will decline economically and morally faster than we ever predicted. And there is a lot of truth in there. Just look at this fiasco around the abortion law, not even the abortion law, that abortion case in America, and then those gender confused people that is all over the streets. Just look at that. The West has lost its moral compass. Then this tweet, the globalists lost miserably, and now we move back to a multipolar world. And that is exactly what Putin said that they are going to do, a multipolar world. And then I get this tweet and I have to laugh. I just laughed. At first I didn't want to respond, and then I did respond. And this guy tweets, none can survive without the USA economy. It is too big. What an idiot. What an idiot. He is totally unaware of the fact that that economy has a $39 trillion debt load on it. How the hell are they going to cope with that? And then there's this tweet. They are laughing at us now, but we don't do anything else about our politicians. And this tweet was in German. It looks like there are people in the EU that are beginning to wake up. And then I see this one. Iran submits the application for BRICS membership. I don't care how arrogant you are from the West. This is important. Iran is a factor in the world, whether you like it or not. And then this one from Bloomberg. Sanctions against Russian gold will not change anything. The publication says that the ban on imports of the precious metal from Russia will be limited and will have little effect on rising prices for this commodity. Can you believe it? These idiots with their sanctions How do you think you can sanction a commodity and not hurt your own economy? But as I said earlier, the G7 is run by idiots. And then there's this one where it says BRICS has 3.2 billion of the population, G7 only 777 million. So who should represent the global community? And there was another tweet that I forgot to capture, where it said that Argentina has already applied for membership of BRICS. If I was in the Western decision-making system, I will be very worried tonight. But for me, sitting here in a BRICS country, I'm smiling and I'm happy. Look, obviously there's got to be a lot of work that's still got to be done. But the important thing is this: there is a new kid on the block, and that kid has got some muscle, and I like it. And for me, I'm an old guy. I said to my son the other day, it is difficult for us to imagine a world in which the Western Empire is not the king of the castle. But fortunately, that is now at an end.